My name is Ruben, and I'm a transformational coach that helps individuals overcome social anxiety. So before I got enrolled in AA, and even before I got into the online space, I was working a corporate career. And so I had, how do you say, like, figured out the whole social anxiety thing and cracking the code on it. And it wasn't through the mainstream channels of, your typical healthcare system that we have here in Canada, or your typical routes with therapists, psychologists, and that whole mainstream channel. Because I overcome the social anxiety, I was stable, I was earning good money and all that stuff, but there was just no meaning in the work that I was doing. There was no purpose to it. I've always really wanted to help people on a deeper level. I've always wanted to inspire others. I've always wanted to reach my fullest potential as a human being. And so that's when I decided to start checking out this online space and figuring out a way how I could help people overcome this social anxiety as well and reach their fullest potential, because I felt I had this kind of secret in my back pocket that I was kind of holding from the world, and it was essentially my responsibility to contribute it to the world. The Authority Accelerator Program, I would say it's impacted my business in such a profound way, because I find now that I have a process I can lean into with the utmost trust and know that the process works. I mean, the results in the community, the people in the community, there's no denying, there's so much evidence to show that the process works. And so now what I see, it's impacted me in such a profound way, because I know if things aren't working for my business personally, I know it's a personal issue. I know it's some sort of limiting belief, and it's not the process, because I know that this entrepreneurship thing, this business thing, it could cause so much doubts. You could ask questions of, why am I doing these things? Because things get so difficult along the way. It's an emotional roller coaster. You start to, wonder, is it my niche? Do I need to choose a new niche? Do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need to add in this? And all of these fancy tips and tricks out there that just don't move the needle. And so for me personally now, it's like, I know I have a process that works. If it's ever like, if I have a sticking point or some sort of block or some sort of ceiling that's manifesting itself in my business, it's a personal thing. And I have to get over that personal thing to lean back into the Sunny system. And as soon as I get removed through that block and get back into the Sunny system, just magic happens. So some tangible results I've received, or I've noticed it, after going through the process is, kind of going back to all of my limiting beliefs and my doubts about everything working and things like that. I ran through the pop, and I had this voice in my head saying, you know what, this is a deeper, complex problem. You can't solve it within 3 months. But, during the pop, I worked with, individuals who were suffering from this thing for like decades, and we had them better and not even identifying with social anxiety. That's a thing of the past. I'm on to the next best thing. I'm living my life now, within 2 to 3 months. That was my own thing again. It's like doubting the pop, doubting I can get my students' results that fast. That really did something for my confidence and my faith in like what I do and why I'm doing what I do, and how much I can truly help people out there. And so another result I would say is just, my whole mindset around sales calls and doing sales. That's been just a crazy advantage. I'm kind of going, maybe you could edit this a little bit, Nicole, but one other thing I've noticed, especially with Sunny and you, Nicole, as well, you've been a big help for me as well, is I don't need to pretend to be anybody in my business. It's like I used to hate doing videos and I used to hate doing content. And then I realized it's like, yeah, but I didn't want to do videos and do the marketing and things and the content, but I was always the drunk party guy telling stories. Storytelling is what Ruben does. That's what I'm known for. But it wasn't until, Sunny's helped me connect those dots. It's like I wasn't showing up in my business authentically and being myself. Another strength that I'm known for is my ability to connect with people and be friendly, right? And so it's through the training that I've realized I can fully be myself, because then when I was doing outreach and I was doing these different things, I had that strong resistance to it, because I didn't realize I could just be myself while doing those things and create those connections. So I can be the friendly guy. That advice that Sunny always gives, just, hey, and Connor as well, like, hey, this is like you're talking to your best friend. And so I feel like I'm showing up very authentically in my business. And I've heard that whole sentiment where it's like, oh, be yourself and blah, 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 and the world needs you and all that stuff. But it didn't connect the dots until I entered the Authority Accelerator. And most recently, because of that, I just closed, 10K in sales within a week. And it's not that, I'm doing that every single week. But before I got into the Authority Accelerator, it was like, okay, I've done 10K in a month. When can I do that again? And now it's like, I did 10K in a week. It's just a matter of time before I can do it again. And it's just a matter of time before that's every single week. And that's the new minimum standard for me. So if you're thinking about, enrolling in the Authority Accelerator, what I would say is there's reason things aren't working out. When I got onto, when I connected with Sunny's team, I was convinced I had the good right messaging. I was convinced that it was just my audience. I was convinced it was all of these different things that ultimately it wasn't the thing. It was not the thing. So what I would encourage you to do is to just lean. I would highly recommend chatting with Sunny's team, because ultimately you're going to get a process where you can take the guesswork out of it, right? It's like I was saying before, you can have more clarity as to whether it's your own limiting beliefs and your own doubts and your own fears, and whether it's a technical business issue. And you can 100% trust in this process, because the process is going to work for you. And ultimately, if you keep leaning into the work and doing the work, you're going to have massive leverage. Like the doubts and all of those fears are going to slowly dissipate as to whether you're doing the right thing in your business.